Hi, I'm your host, Erica Polsinelli, and welcome to Evolve by Erica, the podcast, where we talk all things spirituality, ascension, health, wellness, and beyond. I'm so excited that you are here. Come on in. Hello, guys, and welcome to another podcast. I'm so excited for you to listen in with this guest, Liv. So, I have to tell you the backstory. My brother, who doesn't really DM me much at all, my youngest brother, sent me this girl's post and was like, I think you're going to love her. I could just see you guys being friends. You should offer her a meditation and follow her. I've been following her and she just has like this very magnetic energy and she's so sweet and you could just feel it. And she does something that I think is really amazing in this world. And you're going to hear it in the episode. I actually start crying about it because I think it's just that powerful. And she does it with so much joy, so much happiness, and it seems effortless. Liv is she's just magnetic. There was an amazing energy between the conversation and we could have talked for like 2 more hours, but you're literally going to feel like you're hanging out with 2 friends. You're the third friend right there with us, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'm so excited to hear you have a meditation practice, and I was sharing with you when we came on that my brother introduced me to you, and he was like, you need to follow this girl. She's great. You're going to love her. She's so positive. And from what I see you do, it's like bringing people together in such a great way in this city that's massive, where people come from all over the world. So if you just want to take a moment to introduce yourself, a little bit about what you do. I mean, you do so much. Share as much as you feel guided to, and I would love to go from there.
Thank you. And thank you, Justin. I appreciate you, and I will not forget your name. So if you or your friends want to come to the parties, like you're
He's
off
single
the wait
too,
list.
and he's adorable. He's smart. He has a great job.
Justin,
Handsome.
Let's talk. That being said, I'm Liv Schreiber. I started on social media really in 2020, like in more intensely than an average girl on social media. I just started posting about like being in lockdown with my family and running an agency. My brother and I run a marketing agency. It's called Brand Caffeine. We give brands a boost. So we work with celebrities. Thank you. Startups, D2C brands, and we have around 25 clients and a full team, and that's my day-to-day. But on social media, I noticed, Erica, that everyone was asking me, Liv, where do I meet new friends in New York? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't drink. Like, I'll have one drink maybe every few months, but like people think I'm drunk to begin with. So I'm like, I don't really go get blackout at bars. Like, I don't know where to meet. I just meet friends in the street. So I decided, someone was like, Liv, you should throw a party. And I was like, no one's going to come. Like, I was the DD. I wasn't the girl raging. Like, I was the designated driver.
So funny.
But I'm like, okay, like, whatever, I'll try. And it sold out.
This was in 2021.
This actually was last year.
Okay.
For Hot and Social.
Okay.
As someone just said, my assistant said, Liv, you should throw a party. And I said, nobody is going to come. And it sold out. And I realized...
I love that.
I wasn't expecting
I love it.
And the premise is 99% come solo. So you're showing up alone, but I say solo because it's more empowering and it's cool.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
And then 100% leave as friends.
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So where were you locked down in 2020 with your family?
I was in Mendham, New Jersey, and then I was I was actually stuck in Miami. I brought a suitcase for one weekend and ended up staying for 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And your family was down there?
No, they were in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And you just started sharing like what was going on in your life during lockdown.
What was going on, and also like uplifting things. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin a year early, and I was really depressed because I became a broker. I worked at Corcoran, and I was miserable at my first job. Miserable. And I was in this job while all my friends were dartying. And it was such a complex...
I didn't know what a darty was until last year. A darty is a day party, right?
It is.
Okay, just making sure I got it right.
Yes, they're very popular at Big
Yes.
Ten schools. I should have clarified. Yeah. And, you know, it was this new... I counted it as my bonus year. But no one was talking about how lonely it was.
Yeah.
Like I was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't have to do with my friends being in different parts of the country. It just had to do with the fact that I didn't like my life.
Yeah.
And I needed an escape. So I started posting on social media for myself, really, uplifting quotes every day and different methods to kind of make myself happier.
On Instagram, TikTok, or both?
On Instagram.
Okay.
And then when TikTok came around, on TikTok.
Okay. So you started that pretty early? TikTok in 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I took some time. I got scared because I saw username 5577 is following you like 100 million times over. And I got nervous because on Instagram, those are bots, like when they're weird usernames, and I blocked them. But on TikTok, I was like, are these bots? So I got so terrified. I went off the app for like 8 months because I was like, I don't understand who are these random people and why are they following me so quickly. I didn't understand the algorithm, which I probably shouldn't have gotten scared. I probably should have kept going.
No, I understand. I actually had that experience with TikTok too, where I was on it. I completely like stopped for some reason, and now I'm just getting back into it, which is crazy.
You know, you go through swings of things, and by the way, who knows how long it's going to be around.
I know. Right now I go through these moments of like love sharing, oversharing, and then like looking at my phone and being like, I hate you, don't even look at me, I can't even look at you, you're disgusting. And that's really how I feel with TikTok. Like yesterday I haven't posted a TikTok in probably 6 months, and then yesterday I posted 5. Like that's my personality in a nutshell. Like go hard or don't do it at all.
I agree.
That's me. Okay, so how did you start your company with your brother?
So it started at our kitchen table officially, but before it, I was working for a very popular jewelry brand, and everyone knows the name of it. I won't say it, but I launched
No, I want to know. It's okay.
You
don't
could
say
see
it.
you're digging.
No, don't say it.
But I launched their bestseller collection. And to give you background, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And so when I launched their bestseller product and I saw it stacking up in the offices, but my salary was remaining the same, I got very frustrated. And I don't think I was ever really cut out to work for someone, but the boss I did work for, if anyone does do their research and know who I'm talking about, I have nothing but great things to say about her. She taught me how to work really hard.
Yeah.
And she was such a girl boss. And I really took her work ethic and ran with it. We decided to dissolve the line that I was working on, and I was basically terminated right before 2020.
Oh, wow.
The next day, I went on a run on the West Side Highway. No one knows this story.
I can't wait to hear it.
I had tears streaming down my face. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no clue. And my mom was on the other side, and I was like sprinting into her arms.
Did you know?
I knew that I had been fired.
No, did you know your mom was going to be right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew. I was running to her.
What
She
is this,
lived
a
in
movie?
She lived in Hudson Yards, and I was in Tribeca. So I was literally running to her. And I burst out crying. And she said, don't worry, Liv, you're going to figure it out. And I thought until I got a text that day that said, hey, Liv, are you still managing social media accounts? And I said, me? I don't manage. What? I just have my Instagram.
Are you the voice of the future?
I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I have 1 or 2 spots left. That week, I onboarded 5 clients and started an agency.
Oh, my gosh. That is amazing.
It kind of fell into my lap.
Literally, I found you.
Yeah.
And I believe in that. I really believe in that about a lot of things and things that are meant to be aligned and being on the frequency to attract that in and receive it, because not everyone could respond in the way that you did. But since you did do that, you held that frequency of like, I can do this and I'm going to do this. Let's go.
And you know, that wave is a wave that when you feel it and you feel like you're in the groove and good things are happening, you just have to kind of look for signs and be open to it. And sometimes when I find myself being negative in my day-to-day life, I just sit and I say, Liv, are you going to be able to attract someone right now?
Yeah.
Like in that state? And usually you're not. So you kind of have to let it go and just be like, okay, all right, universe, I'm ready. Like you got to reset.
I agree. And I actually, this is similar to the solo episode I filmed before this about like really taking accountability. And I say this gently, but at the same time, like our frequency is everything and our energy is everything. And when I feel like things are just like I'm on glue or I keep hitting blocks, I literally stop and I'm like, what am I doing that is creating this right now? Not all the time it is my fault. And I'm not trying to say that, but
Right.
we have a lot of responsibility over how we respond to the things around us. And I think like taking that reset, like you said, is so essential and so important.
100%.
Yeah. Because then we realign and we're like, wait, I don't even want to be with myself right now.
Right.
How am I going to attract someone in to like be and enjoy my company right now? Let me act as if they're there, as if I'm sitting with them, as if we have this beautiful relationship. And it's not the easiest. And sometimes it sounds a little delusional, like you're playing pretend.
Yeah.
But it's part of it.
You know, they say if you actually fake a smile for 10 seconds, you actually get happier. Like,
isn't that unbelievable?
your brain doesn't know the difference. So
it's unbelievable.
We all have like these toolboxes where we can reach into. In my mind right now, I'm listening to Follow the Sun, which is like my
Follow that one. I love that.
It's like my happy song.
I love that.
And so like you have to, or going on a run or going to a core power yoga sculpt. It's like, you got to remember what your happy things are.
It's so true.
It's like a poem out.
Wait, so you're listening to that song right now?
Yeah.
Like that's your soundtrack.
Yes, right now.
It's so funny you're saying this because, okay, so I was a teacher, elementary school teacher before this, and then I knew I wanted to do more. So I wasn't sure what that looked like. So I was going to school for administration, and I had this one amazing professor that just stands out. He was all about like caring about the teachers he worked with and like doing everything through like truly caring about people. And he brought in his friend who happened to be an author. His name is Noah Blumenthal, I believe. Do you know
I've heard of that.
Okay, so he wrote this book called Be the Hero, and it's about being the hero versus the victim, which is kind of what we were just saying with the energy, you know? Like you could either choose to be a hero in the situation or the victim. I've been actually wanting to get him on the podcast, and you're reminding me of this. But in this moment, he brought up this idea of like, he asked us to check in, like, what's the soundtrack of your life? Like, what's the song that's playing? And in that moment, I thought of like my parents and like this high speed, like intense song. They're lovely. I love them so much. But like just the way that they have been programmed and they're living, and it's like, dun, 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 like it's a race. Like there's so much to get done. And I'm like, what do I want the soundtrack of my life to be? And it's like, hopefully something like, so I love Follow the Sun, or something that's just like calm, grounding, but happy and uplifting. And you just brought that like full circle for me. I've never heard anyone else say that they have like a soundtrack of their life or playing in their minds.
Yeah, I have 3. Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
I love that.
Favorite song. Love it. I Did It All by One Republic.
Yes.
I lived.
Yes.
By One Republic and Follow the Sun.
I love that one too. I have chills. Oh my gosh. I love that. Well, beautiful.
It helps, right? Because sometimes we're like just doing our day-to-day tasks and we sit back for a second when our phone dies and we're like, what is the point? Like, why am I here? What is the end goal? Where do I want to be? And so sometimes it helps if you like can't figure out what your soundtrack is, to journal in the morning. Like, don't have your phone, use the Hatch alarm clock, wake up and go straight to a journal instead of social media, and just write about what you see, like what you envision in the future as far as you can go. For me, I see an ocean and tall windows. That's all I can see whenever I think of my future. And like, just write. Because that'll help you kind of realize where you're going.
It's so true.
You know?
I love that. That's so powerful and so special. And I think it's so true because in the morning, we have that opportunity with ourselves. And by going on social media, we're welcoming in so much more energy.
Yeah.
And to be able to just like stay in the present moment with ourselves, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, get it out. It's so important. So it's funny because I thought like your job was hot and social and that was it. I didn't know you had a marketing, but it makes sense. Like that's amazing. And that's so exciting that you're helping brands get off the ground and helping them to grow.
I learned after an incident with an assistant stabbing me in the back to keep my business private. And so I prefer for people to think I'm just an influencer. Like I don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Yeah.
And neither do you, right?
Yeah.
And so I just kind of keep it to myself. I don't show our day to day. And it's really fulfilling that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And it's interesting because I feel like there is such pressure to like show everything right now.
Right.
And that you're able to have a beautiful, successful business and not show every nook and cranny of it is special.
I like people like just thinking I'm a dumb blonde. Like I actually think there's a lot of well, now I'm not. I need to get highlights. So maybe dumb brunette. But I think there's a lot of power to just keeping, especially for girls aspiring to be creators, you know, like us, like make sure that your private life is your private life.
Yeah.
Like my best friends, they don't want to be on social. They don't want to be in my stories.
Yeah.
The guys I'm dating, like I don't talk about him. I don't share him because that's for me. Right. And when I'm ready to share with people, great. But I think having a Hannah Montana world where they don't get access to all of you is the way to flourish on social media.
Totally. It's so important. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about Hot and Social because I think it can help some of the listeners who are New York City based. And your energy is just so magnetizing and like it's so light and bright. So I think it would be wonderful for more people to know a little bit more about that, what you do, what to expect.
Of course. So Hot and Social is my baby, and it can be your baby too. We're doing events monthly in New York and then expanding to other cities.
Amazing.
Which is so exciting.
Oh my gosh.
And the premise is really we drop hints on our social media at Hot and Social and on my social media at Liv Schreiber when events are brewing. And we give a date so you can mark it in your calendar. We have I think we have 10,000 people on the wait list right now.
Amazing.
So tickets go live and they're out within usually under a minute. And we fill up comedy clubs. It's not meant to be around drinking because
I love this part of it.
Yeah, because
I love it.
You're going solo somewhere. Like being solo and getting ready to go somewhere, whether it's a friend's birthday dinner and you don't know anyone, that's scary.
I'm like getting emotional. I'm sorry. I didn't expect this. But I'm really like thinking about how courageous people have to be when they're like in a dark place on their own and possibly like feel like they don't have anyone and to like muster up the courage to put themselves out there and go to your event. I'm really emotional out of nowhere, but it's true. Like what you're doing is really, really special. And like I said, in such a big city and it's hard. It's challenging to put yourself out there and to go without drinking when you're sober. And I have a lot of people in my life who are going through recovery and to be able to have this as an option of a place to go that like you don't have to feel the pressure to drink or you don't have to feel the pressure of going, I don't know, somewhere really lame to meet someone.
Yeah.
But like going to this, it's really special. So sorry, tell me more.
Don't be sorry. That's how I feel too. And when I first moved here, when I was in my bonus year where I didn't know anyone, I will never forget. I was jealous of people on the street. I literally was jealous because they had plans and I did not have any.
Yeah.
I would go home to my apartment and be by myself and try to smile at people on the West Side Highway and try to strike up conversation to make friends. And it's really hard and no one talks about it. And they're like, yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're working from home, some people don't have coworkers. So this is a place where you get ready solo and we have a playlist. Like,
wait, tell me more. Yeah. What do you mean you send a playlist?
We have a playlist that we post every time. That's like the best getting ready solo playlist.
I love that.
And like we want people to send us their pictures getting ready. And like if people feel nervous, sometimes I'll connect them with another person. And like girls have met their roommates that way, like or their best friends in the city that way. And I do it randomly. So I don't know.
You're really a messenger. Like you are a divine messenger on earth helping people in such a fun and positive way. And like with it seems like it's easy for you and it's joyful and it's just like this easy in the way that it just like flows through you. I'm sure the work is a lot and like I can't even believe you're the one connecting them, but in the way that it flows through you, you're not trying so hard. It's like you were sent here to do this work.
I appreciate you, and I've always been so intrigued by friendship. Yeah. And if you think about like meditation or what your podcast is about and what your mission is about. Like, those are things that you've inherently, there's just something in you that you're curious about them. And you can't explain why. It's inexplicable. For me, I've always been fascinated with my friends' friends and how many really deep friendships do they have, and why did I never fit into a girl group, and why do girl groups work for some but not for others, and what about bridesmaids, and is it fake or is it real? Like, I've always just been fascinated. And so to be able to say, hey, you can go to a new place when you're 21 to 35 and show up solo and leave with friends. And when you walk in, the energy, Erica, you and Justin are going to come.
We have to. Tell me. I'm like a puddle over here. I could just keep crying. Tell me about the energy.
The energy is unlike anything you've ever felt. You walk into Hot and Social. I have the chills even talking about it. You walk into Hot and Social and everyone is smiling. There are guys. There are girls. All there. You can turn to anyone and say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Who are you? And they're so excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
You've never gotten that.
Yep. Because everyone's in the same boat.
It's like freshman year of college. Mm-hmm. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's there to make friends. And whether you leave with friends or you leave with a few guys' numbers or vice versa, that's up to you. I've said my Hebrew blessings and let them walk out the door. Sometimes that happens. But
I love that.
The basis is we're going to other cities. We did a 100-girl workout at Hall de Lumiere's, this yoga event.
Wow.
And it's so cool. And I got to meet the coolest people.
Yeah.
They're not weird too.
Yeah.
They're completely cool girls, cool guys that just last time I'm going to rant and then I'll hand it over to you. But why are we staying with our high school and college friends? Only hanging out with them in New York City when we're 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I don't understand. We've up-leveled. I'm a different person than I was drinking when I was 21 at Wisconsin. So why not find people who are on your same level now, meeting you where you are?
Yeah. Wow. It's really just so special, and I want to come and experience it. I just might be crying the whole time. I just think it's so special. And you're helping people feel seen and find their place. And for an introvert, I'm very much an introvert until I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I'm till I feel really safe and comfortable, then I'm more of an extrovert. But as an introvert or an initial introvert, I can appreciate it so much, the platform and what you're creating for other people. So it's not based around drinking, but people can drink there if they want to. And usually it's some type of activity. You did yoga, you had the comedy club. I saw recently you were doing something with tennis.
Yes, we're doing a pickleball tournament.
That's amazing.
We're doing another all-girls dinner. We're doing a happy hour, which will be a rooftop happy hour in June. We're doing a Central Park meetup. We're doing a Camp Hot and Social.
Really?
Literally taking also this one is only girls, but the other ones are all guys, but just only girls for the weekend, just because I don't want anyone to feel weird around guys. No offense, guys. They're all coming on a bus to Starlight, Pennsylvania, and we're doing a camp hut.
Oh my
You should come.
That sounds so much fun. I was never able to go to camp when I was younger because I never wanted to leave my house. Just like I was telling you when we started the podcast, I like being home. But now I'm I wish I had that experience because it's so special.
Well,
when
August
is it?
25th to the 27th. You can come.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow, that is so fun.
And no one knows each other.
And you're going to every event. You're there for every one of them.
And I go solo too. I don't know anyone showing up. I'm literally in the same boat.
Do you find that some people will sometimes invite friends with them?
Sometimes, yes. And that's okay.
But there's an emphasis, come by yourself.
Yes. And most people respect that.
Yeah. Does it count if I come with my brother?
No, you guys can come.
I love it. So you posted on Hot and Social and your social media.
Yeah. And on TikTok so it can reach more people.
Incredible. And it's so true about the friend groups and people evolving. And sometimes I think that's a hard part of friendship when your friends from the past expect you to be the same or stay the same or go to the same places and do the same things. And meeting other people, I've noticed people that I've met in my late 20s, like after my Saturn return, my 30s, I've had such a deep soul connection to them. And some of my closest friends, some of them, I still have very close friends in the past, but some of my very close friends I met even after I got married, they weren't even at my wedding, which feels so
Wow.
weird because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like my soul family, and you weren't even
Wow.
part of that time of my life. But yeah, it resonates what you're saying.
Well, that's
Definitely
so
resonates.
uplifting to hear. Like, I'm 26. I have no clue when I'm getting married or engaged. Like, that world feels so far away. And to think that there are so many people that I have yet to meet in
Yeah.
my life who are going to be such sources of joy for me is
Yeah.
like the nicest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know about the Saturn return?
Yes, it happens when you're 29.
Yes, like near 28 to 30 area. So a lot changes then, and you get very much into alignment with your soul's purpose. It could feel a little rocky, but for the most part, I think it's like a time of awakening and like figuring things out.
Oh boy.
It's exciting.
Here we go.
I loved it. It
Really?
was great. Yeah, I had a spiritual awakening. I realized I had to quit my job and follow this path. Yeah, it was a fun time.
How did you know? That's wild. How did you know? Hold on. Let's take a few steps back. How did you know it was your Saturn return?
Well, in hindsight, I figured
Right.
it out because then I wasn't really as interested in astrology. So I didn't know. But now when I have my cousin who's 25 and she's trying to figure out her life, I'm like, sweetie, you haven't even gone through your Saturn return. You are fine. Like, do not worry. Everything's going to be figured out for you. You just have to feel good, stick with your meditation, stay aligned to your truth, and it's all going to work out. And she's like, okay. But yeah, so like at the time I didn't know, but looking back, it's like, whoa, this huge transformational shift happened in this time period. And then it's like, oh, of course, that was my Saturn return. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I like knowing that.
Yeah. It's important. And
Yeah.
it takes the pressure off.
What else
You
should
don't
we
have everything figured out.
Right. And
you
that's the
know?
thing too. Like, I don't understand why I'm expected. Like, I feel like I feel so good in my career and with my friends, but then like I don't know where I want to live the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And people are like, are you gonna get engaged to this guy? Like, what are you gonna, and I'm like, I have no clue.
Yeah. And it's all about like being in the present moment and just trusting the
Right.
divine plan. You know?
I love that because sometimes you can get really freaked out when you see all these people, all these girls getting engaged on Instagram. And I really do think it's causing a huge issue because everyone's just like, oh, they're getting engaged. That means I have to get engaged.
Pressure.
It's
Yeah.
pressure. And I'm like, I am not ready for that.
And it's only pressure if that's what you're putting on yourself.
Right.
And just knowing like staying alive. How old am I? I'm 34.
Yeah.
And I have the other pressure of like, you've been married for almost 6 years. Why aren't you having a child yet? Why aren't you pregnant yet? Do you want kids?
Yeah.
And I really don't allow it to be pressure because I know that I need to make decisions in alignment with myself because I'm not having a baby for anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, no, because they're not going to be there helping me, giving me all the time I need for myself.
Right.
So it's just, and I think it's similar with like a partner. Like, you want to be so aligned and find that person if you want a successful relationship, and however that looks, just staying really aligned.
I love that. And what else about astrology or horoscopes should I know? Like, what should we know? What do I not know?
Do you know your sun, moon, and rising sign?
I could look it up on my phone.
Okay, so those are, I think that's where you start.
Okay.
Like your sun sign.
Guys, she's
when's
like,
your birthday?
No, September 1st.
So you're a Virgo. I
Yes.
love Virgos. I love Virgo energy. We just had a Virgo full moon last week or a week and a half ago. Do you remember anything? Did you feel wild during it?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was out of control, stressed.
Yeah.
Nuts.
It cleared a lot though. Like after it, hopefully you felt more clear, grounded. Okay.
And I just did Reiki energy healing
Okay.
yesterday.
Well, that's also what I want to talk to you about, like all the alternative things you're trying.
Oh.
So how is Reiki?
Unbelievable. I have a
Really?
girl named Meredith. I'll send you her info.
Amazing.
She did cord cutting with me.
Nice.
I felt like I had a few like just people I wanted to just detach from. And you feel the listener is gonna be like, what is going on? Guys,
Bring it.
cord cutting is when, and Erica will probably know this way better than I can explain,
No,
but
sure, please.
it's when basically you have different ties to different people. Like you have old friends or you have old boyfriends or current boyfriends and girlfriends. And family members, strangers, and they see something in you and they set a cord and they kind of tie to you. And over time, as your light starts to dim or you feel a little depleted when you're around someone, like, you know, that tightness in your chest or in your throat when you're like, uh-oh, this person probably isn't good for me, but they're fine, but you just feel that way in the back of your head. That means you probably have some cords to cut. So you go through this process where you lay down on the ground and a Reiki healer, I did it over Zoom. You can do it over Zoom or in person. Basically walks you through the visualization of having a cord cut, like tied to you and the other person there across the street. You see them, the cord is connecting you, and then you take a deep breath in, and then you breathe out, and you cut the cord however you want. The cord can be any color, any texture. You cut it with a sword or a knife or scissors. And a car goes by and the person is no longer on the other side of the street. I did it yesterday and I literally felt like the wind was knocked out of me.
Yeah.
It was incredible and I feel really good today.
Good. Yeah, lighter. And as you start practicing that, now that you know how to do it, you could do it on your own with, you know, just in your intention and in your meditation too. It's always helpful to have someone facilitate, especially as you're learning, but now you could take that and try it. And as you practice it, you like feel that shit leave.
Yeah.
Like it's like, whoop, gone. And it gets faster and quicker and you really start to feel that shift.
It's crazy. And the Reiki healer told me that you can do this by showering and like imagining the water washing any toxicity away, or you can kind of make little chopping movements on your arms to chop it off before bed. But if you feel the effect of energy, or you feel when someone's good or someone's bad, imagine what you're doing to yourself with your own thoughts.
Yep. It's so true.
Anything I mention, any holistic treatments, any health treatments that I mention on this podcast are just things that I've tried. They have been recommended to me. I am not an expert. I am not a doctor. So take it at your own risk and have fun.
I went to a crystal warehouse quite recently.
That's
and
so
I got
cool.
a selenite sword.
What?
Yeah. And I was feeling exactly what you described before, drained, depleted, a few weeks ago. And I'm like, you know what? This sword is sleeping under my pillow with me. Like, I'm putting this shit under my pillow. And I put it under my pillow. I'm like, whatever. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't feel I had to tell him. So a few days goes by. I'm sleeping like a baby.
She's sleeping with a sword under her pillow.
But it's like this big. It's like this big. It's not that big. All of a sudden, one night, he comes into bed and he puts his arm under my pillow to hug me. And he's like, what the F is this? And he pulls it out. And he's like, are you kidding me? And then he actually said, is this for cord cutting? Like joking around and mocking it. I'm like, actually, yes. And put my sword back. Thank you. Thanks. And when you need it, it's here to help you. I'll share. But it helps. And crystals can help with protection too. I actually have some on me right now.
I usually have them in my jacket
What
pocket.
ones do you have today?
I didn't bring any in that jacket, but I usually have what's the black? I don't know. It's the one that like is gray and shiny. I have to figure that out.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
crystal. I'm good energy.
You could touch it. My black tourmaline. Then I have smoky quartz and citrine, which is like the sunshine. I love citrine for that.
I need to go. Where do you go?
So many people ask me that, and I like pick them up in so many different places, and I kind of like that.
Do
like
they
I just like
you?
get them where I see them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's for me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm just like, yes. Do you want to hold on to that more?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a place on Long Island that I like to go, which is Joyful Treasures, and Roslyn Salt Cave is great. And then I went to this warehouse, which was nuts. It's called From the Mines. It's actually in New Jersey. It was wild. I got some crazy crystals there. Huge selenite. My dog was freaking out. We had to remove it from the house. It was a whole saga.
Why?
He like felt the energy from it and was just like, this is too much for me. It was bigger than him. He's like a little chubby Yorkie. And this thing was like 200 to 300 pounds, like huge.
What?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've had a crazy experience too. I got my gray crystals. I can't remember what the name is. We need to look it up.
it's gray.
Yeah, it's like silvery. It's going to come to me.
Hematite?
Yes! Hematite! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you so much. Yes!
Why are you guided to that one?
I don't know.
Do you know? Yeah. You just are.
I am.
Okay.
I love hematite.
Mm-hmm.
And I have hematite rings. And I once had 3 of them on in Spain, and they shattered off of my hands in the streets.
Wow.
Shattered. And someone was like, yeah, you got too much energy, sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
It served you. You got what you needed.
Yeah.
And that was that.
I also carry, what's the love one? I carry
rose quartz.
Yeah, rose quartz.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry,
nice.
Went on a tangent.
No, it's okay. So Reiki, and you wanted to share some of the other things that you've been
acupuncture at Complete Wellness. Obsessed.
Nice.
Love. Absolutely helps. I have an autoimmune disease. I was recently diagnosed. I'm trying to self-heal. So I'm on like a crazy celery, cucumber juicing, cleanse routine in the morning. And really trying to avoid coffee, which is very hard.
Okay.
Sugar.
Is that the coffee because caffeine, mold, what?
You guys are not going to like me for saying this. They say coffee is equivalent to drinking a cup of acid every morning. Yeah, it actually doesn't have any beneficial health effects.
It's so crazy because like there's just so much information. We're living in the age of information, and there's so much information and so much contradictory information, but it makes sense. It's acidic. It totally makes sense. But also, I know, like, do you know Dave Asprey?
Yes.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's very funny.
And he's all about the coffee, like the bulletproof coffee. So it's like –
it's so hard.
It's like finding what works for you, and coffee just may not be working for you.
Exactly. And it increases your cortisol, right? So like if you have an autoimmune or a chronic illness, of course your stress is going to go up. You're drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So there are other ways to do it, like having dandelion root, rooibos tea.
Have you tried that yet, the dandelion? Do you like it?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not that good.
Okay.
But it's not that bad.
Okay.
Matcha, which like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just not coffee.
It's not coffee. I went to an iridologist.
What is that?
Oh my gosh. I love how we went from hot and social to like iridology.
I can't wait to hear about this.
We're going all over the map.
I love it.
Okay. Iridology is when I can't wait to see the New York City Reddit influencer feed when they hear this episode. You'd be like, Liv Schreiber is so crazy.
I can't wait.
So iridology is when they look into your eye. You can go to Harvey Vetter in Brooklyn. I can also send you the info. And they take a picture of your eye. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Mm-hmm. So it's also the window to your nervous system. Yep. So you can actually see a lot. And once again, this is a holistic thing. If you look it up, there are some things that say it doesn't prove anything. So take it as you will. But I took my mom and grandma. That's how impactful it was on me. You don't tell them anything about your life, your health, nothing. They go through basically a diagram of your eye, and each part of your eye reflects something different to a different part of your body. Mm-hmm. Just like acupuncture, there are different parts of your body that correlate to different emotions, stresses, joints, etc. And she said to me, she looked into my eye, both eyes, and said, you on your left side have inflammation, and it's circulating around your vagina, sorry, Justin, and your knee. And I had an IUD incident, and we think it affected my knee. And and I literally have flare-ups in my knee. So they give you all these different things to take. They don't sell them themselves. So, it's very holistic. And it was incredible.
They recommend supplements and where you could go buy them wherever you want.
Yeah, you can get them wherever you want. Yeah. So that's how I know it's not.
I know I like
oil.
when that happens. Like my doctor will do that too. He'll be like, go on Amazon.
Yeah.
And like find this. I'm like, okay. So I trust you more now.
Exactly.
You're not selling me anything.
There's good.
Wow. I want to do that.
You should do it.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
It tells you a lot. It even says like if you had trauma or how your brain is, or how for my grandma, she was talking about like how strong her bones were, which was super cool.
Yeah. And
they're
so
good.
Important for that age group.
Go grandma.
Wow. Yeah. She's doing well.
Yeah, she's crushing it.
That's so great.
Go Barbara.
Aw, that's so sweet. I saw the post that you put up with your grandparents and the cream. It was so funny. It cracked me up.
I love them. My grandparents, if you have grandparents, like they are my best friends, and you should call them every day.
Aw.
We have so much to learn from them, and
Yeah.
our society kind of dismisses the elderly, whereas in Japan and in other Asian countries, they really, and in most other countries, they really give gratitude towards and really reward the elderly and respect them.
Yeah.
And in America, they're shut away and not in our ads. You don't see their faces, and they make aging a scary thing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to, if you see someone who's elderly, like give them a smile, ask them for some advice because they're walking history books.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
I love them.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so grateful for you coming on and sharing everything that you have shared. Is there anything else that you feel the audience would like to know, or anything to look out for, a special date for the next Hot and Social?
Yes. Hot and Social is happening every month. We also have running tennis groups if you're into playing tennis in New York City. And we have a running group chat. So if you want weekend plans or to meet people or to get New York recommendations, we're going to have a consistent group chat that you can join and hang out in and feel like you really belong somewhere, because you do, and you're never alone. And I never want anyone to ever feel like they don't belong and that they're jealous of people on the street.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing in the world. It's really so special.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you. It was so fun. I hope we do it again. We need to get lunch.
I
so.
hope I kept it cool, because I forgot we were
cool.
recording.
No.
I don't know what I said.
Because you're just hanging out, and those are always the best episodes.
Your brown eyes just swept me in, and now I'm about to get in trouble with a lot of people.
I love you. Drop your handle one more time so
you
everyone
can
has
follow
it.
me only if you want at Liv Schreiber, LIVSCHREIBER, and Hot and Social, which you all are.
Guys, thank you for listening in. I have like the biggest smile on my face, and it feels so nice to connect with people like Liv in real life and feel that joy, that connection, that energy. And I just feel so grateful for her time and for her coming on and chatting with us. Hopefully, if you're in New York and you're guided to attend one of her events, if that calls to you, I think it could be such an incredible experience. I actually see myself going to one or two of these because it seems incredible, and you just never know who you're going to meet. So thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the episode and the conversation. If you feel guided to rate and review the episode, that is always so gratefully received. May the longtime sun shine upon you. Have a wonderful evening or day. Sat Nam.